Yo, what is up guys? This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Mall channel, your source for on point and no hype reviews. We are back again, everybody. We're back with another fragrance review right here, guys. On my day off, finally I got one, guys. And today we are back at the house of Initio Parfums. That's right, guys, Initio Parfums. And today we will be talking about their latest release that some reviewers out there, some people in the fragrance community are actually hyping this one up, calling it one of the best releases out there for Initio Parfums. So today, of course, I will be giving this no hype review. I'll give you guys an objective review on this fragrance. I'll break it down for y'all, so hope you guys are excited. Let's go. Now, before I continue, please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys, okay? Liking, subscribing, and watching the ads is a great big deal to this channel as we head towards 27,000 subscribers. So please continue all your support, guys. Deep dive into my over 900 no hype videos and shop from our affiliates and friends of the channel like NOWICKI and NOWICKI DECANTS. Thank you so much for all your support. And the fragrance that I will be talking about today is none other than the latest Initio Parfums release. This is none other than Can't Get Enough. Yes, Initio Can't Get Enough. From the Hedonist collection, or the purple bottles that, you know, a lot of legendary perfumes have already come from, such as Side Effect. One of, you know, in my opinion, the big seducer perfumes out there, that Side Effect. You guys know that. So in comes Can't Get Enough, guys. And of course, with a name like that, you know, at least for me, when I heard about this fragrance, that was I was thinking along the lines of Side Effect, along the lines of an addictive, seductive, dark type of perfume that, you know, can be worn, you know, to attract the opposite sex. Because, you know, can't get enough basically means like, you know, you're addictive. I can't get enough of you. I want to smell you some more. And it's those types of scenarios that I know a lot of people out there, whether you're single or you're not single, like these are really intended weapons used in battle. So, you know, I was excited about this type of concept right here. I did wear it a few times. I'm almost done with this sample, which is, by the way, from Michael NOWICKI of NOWICKI DECANTS. Please shop on his site. I do have a code, TroyD247 Mall, for free shipping over $50 and 10% off. Okay, and Mike's got a lot of good stuff, including this one. Okay, so definitely check out Michael. Thank you for sending this over, Michael. Anyways, let's break this fragrance down. Let's spray this thing right now. Okay, guys, now let's talk about this fragrance right here, Initio Can't Get Enough. Starting with this addictive opening. It is addictive because it is a combination of three notes that really deliver some impact here on first spray. So these three notes do come together. It's not like a layer where one comes after the other. Right here, guys, you've got pink peppercorn, you've got rose, as well as hedione. All right, so these are the three notes that go together in the impact opening of Can't Get Enough. And I know there's a lot of rose fragrances out there, but I would say that this is really more of a blend rather than like full-on rose that you will smell in other fragrances. So right here, it's part spicy, part sweet and candied, and then there's still like that whiff of that classic dark, almost like that Turkish rose. If you're familiar with rose notes, it's like a Turkish rose, slightly semi-dark, but then again has the sweetness of hedione, has the spicy pink peppercorn in it. It's a really nice blend that kind of really says, you know, it's like addictive because really it's a beautiful combination that's great to the senses, and more importantly, there's some impact to it. So I really like this opening. I don't want to say that it's super redundant to other like rose scents because again, it is a blend altogether. Now, in my opinion, some people will like this right here, especially if you are looking for a dark like rose blend that's not the traditional style. you know, that has actually a slightly sweet and candied, kind of like a warm, you know, jasmine-like hedione. And it's funny because this hedione, if you actually go close like that, and if you smell your wrist, you can actually smell something that resembles jasmine. But the difference with Hedione is that it's actually like a warming version. And when mixed with that dark rose and that spicy pink peppercorn, you do have, like I said, that dark candied smell. And to me, I've heard people say that this is like dark Delina, Parfums de Marly Delina, like the dark version. And, you have that warming feel with a draw-in rose and some spice. Like I said, it is the blend itself that, in my opinion, will be addicting. And definitely it has a lot of impact. And speaking of initial sillage and projection, after the first few times that I wore this fragrance, I was almost like careful now with spraying it, because you might actually overspray this, and because it is a lot of oomph in the beginning. And some people like that, don't get me wrong, but to me, I had to kind of limit my sprays to the optimal amount, where it's like I'm making an impact, there is a scent trail, but it's not like overbearing on people. But I wouldn't be surprised if on the full bottle, on the full Initio bottle, if you actually spray it a lot, it might be overboard. It might be overly strong. So definitely keep that in check, because let me tell y'all, initial sillage and projection, it's definitely, strong. It's out there. People will smell you. You will get a scent trail. All the things that you expect in a decent, strong perfume. But like I said, you might want to keep it controlled like I do. Some people want it more nuclear, but to me, I'm keeping it controlled. 3 to 4 sprays on this one, in my opinion. Okay, now let's head into the mid of this fragrance right here. Now let me tell you guys how this progresses. Hedione is actually a bridge note to the mid, okay? So Hedione does give you that sweet but warming. It's like a sweet jasmine-like smell, blends extremely well with that darker Turkish rose smell, and then of course it is warming too. It does blend together up until, I would say, the 2 to 3 hour mark. So that's a long coverage of the Hedione and rose together, okay, as it bridges in. And again, that's pretty much your magnetic, can't get enough side, in my opinion, as you are wearing this with the slight spices coming out. But in the mid, guys, which is again 2 to 3 hours in, you have the rose on its own. Okay, so that is one thing I will say. The rose turns on its own on the latter mid of this fragrance, I would say 2 to 3 hours in, up until the 6th hour. And there you can really smell the rose on its own, a more natural smelling rose. Of course, darker. It seems like the shade is going there because the Hedione has backed out. But nevertheless, I love this transition right here. The fact that there's the Hedione, the spices, and the rose coming together for at least 2 hours into the fragrance, or 2 to 3 hours. And then finally you get the heart of dark rose. Okay, now let's talk about the dry down right here of Initio Can't Get Enough. So interestingly, this rose, it must be either an absolute or like a double dose, because it's able to go from the initial part of the fragrance all the way till near the end, okay? And actually this rose, this, in my opinion, Turkish rose, gets sandwiched by, the initial notes as well as the dry down notes. Now, interestingly, guys, if you saw the pyramid, I'm sure you guys are interested about the caramel that's supposedly in this thing. Now, the interesting thing is that the caramel here is actually super well blended in, okay? Unlike other fragrances that put caramel at the forefront, it's actually not at the forefront. It doesn't speak like total gourmand. And the reason why is because you have a combination of amber and musk towards the dry down, and that makes sense because this is a dark seductive perfume. So naturally you are going to get some heavier, gradient musks towards the end. And amber is not a listed thing right here, but I can definitely smell something ambery here with the vanilla and that underlying caramel that goes into the dry down of Can't Get Enough. And that makes sense, right? Because you're smelling some caramel, some gourmand, yummy note, but at the same time, there's still that muskiness, that amber musk. That's definitely more of like a nighttime seductive gradient type of ending to this fragrance right here. So that I will say, do not expect a standout, super standout, caramel that's going to be right out there for you to smell. This caramel is definitely underlying behind a lot of amber, musk, and vanilla here at the dry down of Can't Get Enough. Okay, so what do I think of this fragrance right here, Initio Parfums Can't Get Enough? The big initial question that I'm sure all of y'all are wondering is, do I think that this is a femme leaning perfume, or is this strictly for those that like femme fragrances? You know, in my opinion, no. Okay, in my opinion, no. And I know that a lot of people have been complaining about Initio having mostly women's perfume releases. Like this other one that they came out with is definitely a femme perfume. This one, I gotta say, can be unisex, and it really depends on you to test it over and over to see how it feels. I know that initially when I first smelled it, and I was just like, okay, Hedione and rose and, you know, pink peppercorn, initially, like I said, gave me that impression of kind of like a dark Delina. But the more that I wore this, I realized that, hey, this could be a nice like men's perfume with a nice twist, with a nice impact, with a nice smell that is absolutely addictive, that I think a guy could actually wear this. But again, I figured this out over time. And that makes sense too, because really the rose is not an ultra sweet rose. The heart of it is really a darker rose. And you have, like I said, amber and musks to cover up a lot of caramel that would have made this lean femme. And also the Hedione is not really solidly a jasmine smell either. It's part of a sweet and warming, spicy blend in the beginning of this fragrance. So big question is it unisex? To me, the answer is yes. Now also, I wouldn't be surprised if people bought this because, you know, you would smell very addictive in date night situations, you know, hunting situations, hunting and gathering situations, and of course, you know, between the sheets situations. I can definitely see this as a seductive dark perfume. Okay, and definitely if you are wearing this, there's nothing here that's friendly or like safe. This is definitely a daring, magnetic type of perfume, thanks to the notes, the aforementioned notes that do the job, and of course the overall theme of this fragrance, which is definitely dark and seductive. So I would say usage-wise, this is for those that want to smell addictive, magnetic, the whole shebang. Okay, that's what this is for right here. Okay, now total performance on this fragrance. Definitely this is a 12-hour scent, and I would say that the stronger parts of this fragrance is maybe like 10 hours. And the strong impact, like I said, is maybe 3 to 4 hours into the scent, because that's when you have really mostly the Hedione, the rose, and the spices all together. Like I said, it's a prolonged intro, magnetic intro right here of this fragrance. But then overall, I mean, it's not going to be super strong until the end. I believe it's like 10 to 11 hours significant scent, but then definitely the amber, musk, and caramel does linger around until the 12-hour mark and beyond. So no complaints right here on the longevity of this fragrance. Okay, and finally, let's look at the pricing of this fragrance and is it worth a full bottle. So this fragrance right here, $420 retail for a full bottle of this fragrance. In my opinion, try it first. Okay, I mean, definitely I would say that it's not redundant to a lot of rose fragrances out there. I think it's a nice blend, and y'all should definitely try it, both guys and gals, because who knows what the effect is, you know. And definitely let me know in the comments below if you've worn this around people and, you know, what were the responses, you know, because definitely this one here, can't mistake it for a safe fragrance. Like I said, this is definitely a seductive type of fragrance, a flirty type of fragrance from the get-go, from the jump. Okay, so if you're looking for something like this, get a sample. If you know you want to save money or you don't want to commit to $500, definitely get it at NOWICKI Decants. Like I said, I will link Michael's link below, and again, you get 10% off as well as free shipping over $50. Get a bunch of samples already by using my code TroyD247 Mall. So again, guys, try this out first, guys and gals. I think there will be a big portion of y'all that will actually really like this and keep it in your collection, especially now it's fall winter coming in. And that is it. That is my no hype review of the latest Initio Parfums release, Can't Get Enough. Again, I want to thank Michael NOWICKI of NOWICKI Decants for sending this over. Let me know in the comments below what y'all think of this fragrance. If you have tried it, what's your impression? Have you actually used it? And did you get positive responses wearing this fragrance right here? As a guy or a girl, I would love to know. Anybody in between, let me know on the comments below, guys. All right, and I will see you guys on the next video. I'm gonna go finish the Parfums de Marly trilogy with Valero, and then maybe I'll go into the Raja, the Elysium Noir that actually I have been wearing for the past like week. I might review that too, and there's a host of other new stuff that's coming out. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you guys on the next video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. God bless. Take care. Peace.